Do you think dogs from other countries can understand each other?
I think animals might have a different dialect. However, I do think dogs all understand the same dog language.
Okay, but if you run into somebody that doesn't speak any of the language that you speak, can you communicate with them?
I feel like I use my hands and I point, and it's gotten me to whatever I've needed in the past. So, yes.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the most complicated. Like, how complicated of a conversation do you feel like or how complicated of a thing can you convey to somebody that doesn't speak the same language that you do?
Oh, a 2. Maybe a 3 on a good day.
I was going to say 3 is probably the highest that I could go.
You're going to make fun of me for this, and maybe I deserve it, but I've actually picked up a lot of, especially Spanish and French, by getting like soccer channels, but they only come in those languages. So I picked up like a lot of words from watching, you know, foreign language sports broadcasts.
I did that with like kung fu movies at one point. I mean, that's an over exaggeration. I could understand like a couple of things from kung fu. Like, oh, that's hello.
Um, what was the point of this? That we have
I
trouble
just wanted to see
understanding
what you
each other?
thought. Like if I wanted to see if you thought that dogs could from different countries could understand each other. And I actually looked this up. Apparently, yes, they do. There may be some differences, like they can't fully understand each other, but there may be some language differences, but they can get the gist of it from body language.
I mean, what's the difference between a person who's 95 that can barely communicate talking to a 5-year-old? I feel like it's the same principle. They kind of understand each other to a certain degree. It's just not everything's there.
Oh, I mean, I have a 5-year-old, and sometimes I have trouble understanding what he's talking about.
How do you feel at your age having a 5-year-old? Do you feel like it's taking years off your life? Do you feel better? Do you feel more tired?
Oh, I don't know if being 43 is that old to have a 5-year-old. I think that it would have been 20 years ago, like you would have been ancient. I actually feel like one of the younger parents in my social circle right now. I know people who are probably in their 50s that have 5-year-olds. People are doing it like people are having kids a lot later in life. And I wonder how ultimately that's going to work out for us. Like, I think that you have essentially two choices in life. You can play with your kids or you can pay for your kids. And it's very difficult to do both. You're either young enough that you can play with them or old enough that you can pay for them. But it's really difficult to have both of those available to you, I think.
My wife has this saying that I hate to repeat, but she's absolutely correct. And really, everything in life, once you become an adult, comes down to time or money.
That's the weirdest thing about life, I feel like, is you're never presented with the opportunity to take advantage of the thing that you have. You're young, but you don't have money. You're old and you have money, but you don't have the energy to do the things. I think that's like the great joke of life is that, like, let's give you this, and then let's also put you into a perfect situation to not be able to take advantage of the thing that you have. Okay.
All right. Is it shout out time?
Go for it, bro. Go for it, Big Hoss.
Big house. All right. Marcus Young, Sendo Garcia, Kristen West, Martin Kamchev, Neela Perus Cervica, Robert Colombo, Faye DeHoff, Valentina Tataroo. I'm sure I screwed the shit out of that name.
Oh, yeah. Badly.
Bridget L. Charles Lashore III.
Ooh.
I love it when somebody has like an official name like that on social media.
The third?
Yeah. That just makes me smile.
I have always felt a certain way about naming kids after like the third, the second, or the fourth. I think that takes an amount of arrogance that I don't have.
I'm actually supposed to be a second, but I think I've mentioned this at some point in the last 8 years of doing this, is that my father apparently was either too pissed off or too under the influence when I was born and just said, fuck it, we're just going to name him John Shull with no suffix.
But what if you feel like, is there any chance that he was planning on naming you John Shull Jr.? He wanted to name him after, he wanted to name you after him, but then he looked at it and he was like, No.
You know what's insane is when I came out of, when I was born, rather, I was a premature baby, so I was only like 6 pounds, and I was put.
How'd that work out?
Yeah,
Caught up. You caught up.
Sure did. Sure did. Cheeseburgers. All right, where were we? I think I only had 2 names left. Katie Stein and Catalina Shirley. Rounding out the top.
Okay. All right. Good.
Shout outs this week. All right. Have you read Vegemite?
I believe so, because I went to high school with a kid whose name I am going to mention because he deserves to be called out on this. Even 20 years later, Ethan Gibson, who lived in Australia but moved back to the United States. His sister didn't have an accent, but he somehow did, which is totally fake. And he was always leaning way into the Vegemite thing because I'm Australian. Like, no, you're not. But anyway, if he hears this, I hope he does. Still getting called out. Everybody knew you were a liar, Ethan.
What if Ethan has lived in Australia since like graduating high school and
he hasn't? I think that he lives in Kansas somewhere. But yeah, I've had Vegemite and it was like disgusting.
Yeah, I had it for the first time this past week, and yeah, I'm not a fan. It's definitely an acquired taste. I wasn't even around any actual Australians, so I'm not sure how it even got brought into the mix, but it is quite disgusting. So
I'm not entirely sure his name is Ethan Gibson. I know it's Ethan, but I don't know it. So if there's some other fake Australian Ethan Gibson, if you catch a stray, but
well, because it is your birthday, I did a little research here, and you share a birthday. Let's see who you share birthdays with.
Okay, you're moving along. You could get like more than 5. Yeah. You could get a bunch.
I was excited. I wanted to celebrate you because I can't be there with you. So I wanted this episode to be a celebration
about my birthday
of your. And I know 43 is not it's not really a celebratory number, but you should be celebrated. So hopefully,
thank you.
You're getting everything you want today.
I did.
Anyways, let's see. You share a birthday with James Madison, former U.S. president.
Oh, okay. Who else? Oh, I've never even thought about this.
Lauren Graham.
I don't know who that is.
Alexandra Daddario.
Don't know who that is.
Okay, well, both pretty famous actresses, but it's fine.
Okay.
And then it starts to go downhill from there. Bad Kid Paris, who's apparently, according to famousbirthdays.com, she has the most famous birthday, March 16th birthday. She's 14 and apparently a YouTube star.
Yeah, there's a whole generation of people you don't even know. And why is there a YouTube star named Bad Kid Paris? That doesn't seem like. I have a whole problem with childhood YouTube stars. That to me seems worse than childhood actors because that's just parents completely exploiting them. Like,
let's see here. Blake Griffin, former NBA basketball player.
Okay.
Joel Embiid.
Oh, a lot of basketball players.
I think I may have saved the best for near last, but you share a birthday with Flavor Flav.
Wait, how old is Flavor Flav? He could potentially be the exact. No, he's older than I am.
Oh yeah, he turned the ripe age of 66 today.
Holy crap, he's that old. I would have guessed in his 50s.
And then a couple others. There's actually a lot of kind of famous people born today. Alan Tudyk, famous. He's had a minor role in pretty much every Disney movie that's been made post 2005.
Alan Tudyk.
Yep. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Nope.
And I'm ending with Danny Brown.
Oh.
Yeah, you know Danny or Alan Tudyk.
No, I know Alan Tudyk now. Like, oh, okay. He's a resident alien is what he's famous for.
A lot of other things. But and then you also share a birthday with local Detroit legend, rapper Danny Brown as well. So
oh, okay.
So there's that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Well, out of all those
that only counts as referencing my birthday once, though. So that puts you at number 4. That whole thing doesn't count as multiple.
Man.
It only counts as one.
I have at least 5 or 6 more skits that I haven't
even... okay.
I'm not going to.
Let's see.
But I think part of the reason that I truly care this episode about your birthday is I don't think we've actually ever taped on your birthday that I can remember.
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a coincidence.
But see, that's the thing, and I've been thinking about this more as I get older, and my cholesterol is getting higher, and my heartbeat is skipping every 1 or 2 times. Is that we should celebrate even the littlest of things, and a birthday.
Oh
is one
yeah,
of them.
I think that I do generally love any kind of an excuse to celebrate something. But the thing that I never quite understood about your birthday is you're really 9 months older than you are, right? Because it's not like you were just, I mean, you were born that day, but like you were alive before then. So really, you don't know what your actual birthday is.
God damn it! Why can't you just make it simple?
I'm just saying, you don't know. You don't actually know what day your birthday is. You know what the day that you came out of the womb, but you don't know when you were actually like came into existence.
So the moment the sperm hit the egg is what you're saying should be your
Whenever
birthday.
when you first became a fetus, right? Like that's really your birthday. So really, you're like 8 or 9 months older than you think that you are. It's not like it'd be like if you were just staying inside the house. It's like you're still there. You're still in the house.
I mean,
I'm just saying you're 8 or 9 months older than you really are.
You bring
I'm really
you make
almost
a good
44.
Point. You make a good point, but I just don't know. That's not complicated. All right, last thing here is
you don't know your birthday. No one knows their birthday.
No matter how old you are, and I know it's your birthday. Here's number 5.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I don't know if you saw the picture posted yesterday by Bill Belichick.
I did not.
But he has shown, so I think you're aware that he is with
why would I have?
Because
why would I know what Bill Belichick is doing?
Hold on, because he has proven to all of us out there that it doesn't matter what you look, at least as men, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's how much money you have.
It's how much money you have.
There's a photo of him and his 23 or 2-year-old wife or girlfriend. As an ad pops up, of course.
What was it for? What have you been searching? What kind of car was it? So I
I'm
can
not
tell
even
what
sure.
you've been searching.
But he is, I don't even know what that is, but they're on a beach and he's like holding her up. And it's just,
You're a 70-year-old man.
At least. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I understand, like, the appeal of it, right? Like, I get it. But what do you have in common with a 20-year-old?
He is 72 years old.
And she's 24?
I'm getting you her exact age right now.
God. Like, that's...
His Wikipedia.
Man, I guess if both people know exactly what time it is, whatever time it is okay. But, like, this is going to be a loving, meaningful relationship that you can truly, like, both grow together as people and enrich each other's lives. Like, what are they talking about? Like, what are you talking about with a 20-year-old as a 70-year-old person?
She's 23. Her name's Jordan Hudson.
That's insane. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what medication? Like, honey, we can't stay at the beach so long. I got to go pick up my medication.
My thing is, like, he has to be dying, right? Because why else?
Dying.
Like, if you're her, why else would you? I mean, no offense, but he's 50 years older than you. Why? Just why? I don't even know why. Just why?
I don't understand it more. I guess I don't understand it from either perspective. Like, I get it from her perspective is maybe she's in it for what we would assume that she's probably in it for, right? But, like, him, what are you getting out of this?
So he was married to the same woman from 77 to 06. They have 3 children. Imagine being those children.
God.
I mean, I guess you'd be proud of your dad at that point, right? Like, good for you,
Not
Dad.
really. Like, I would be like, Dad, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I would be like, Dad, good for you, but, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't have anything in common with that person. They're 50 years younger than you are.
Yeah, I mean...
I think now, 10 is pushing it, honestly.
If you were to, like, ask you or I if we wanted to switch roles, I don't know if I would say no to that, but...
I wouldn't say no to, like, a night, of course, at that age, if I was a single man, but, like, in terms of just being in a whole relationship...
Like,
and the thing is, what I don't get is, like, a person of his wealth and fame, it's not like he would have a hard time, right? Like, it's not like he gets one shot, one bite at the apple. Like, he could have a different one all the time. So why keep going with the same one? They like, what are you going to talk about?
Well, so here's the crazier, or one of the crazier stats I read about. So he's the new head football coach at North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he has 14 players that he will be coaching that are the same age or older than his girlfriend.
That's, yeah. I don't.
Like, come on. That's a Shannon Sharp. Come on, man.
Yeah, like you can do whatever you want, but I would be like I would be like, no. I would feel a certain way about it, but I guess he doesn't. His life. So their lives, let them do what they want.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting to see, because it is your birthday, that's 6 times. I'm done now. I'm done. But I'm expecting to see some kind of photo pop up on social media of you doing that to your wife at some point today. So
I'm not doing that with my wife. Number one,
I know.
Like, you can only do that with that amount of age difference. Like, no, I could do that with my wife right now if I wanted to.
Absolutely.
Why would I? Like, I'm a 70-year-old man. I don't want to do that. Like, hey, honey, why don't you lay on your back and pick me up with your legs? Like, I'm 70. I don't want to do that. Like, what are you doing in common? Like, honey, let's go to the beach. I don't want to go to the beach. I need to take a nap, and I've got 15 doctor's appointments that I need to go to today. Do you want to go out to the club? Yeah, I'll go out to the club, but we need to be home at 9. Like, there's just no...
Do you know...
No life expect, you know?
What's crazy is apparently they met in February of 21, so she would have been, what, 19?
Oh, yeah, that's
when they were seated next to each other on a flight.
Oh, God.
She fell in love with him, and this is per TMZ, by the way. She fell in love with him apparently when he offered to sign one of her textbooks. Okay, I'm done. I can't. All right, let's just move on to the top 5, please.
And some decisions show you who people really are. And like, oh, I feel a lot differently about him now. Anyway.
I mean, whatever. They're all, your heroes are always the worst people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not that he was our hero, but...
I know what you mean. All right.
Let's do it.
Oh, are we at top 5 already?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow, you're really phoning this in. I mean, you used to have a couple of things you would talk about. Now you're
We talked about your birthdays.
That was it? Okay.
Vegemite, right. Bill Belichick. I mean, what else the people... I mean, we can talk about...
You got the birthday in again. That was good. That was a good one, too.
You know, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but I prefer not to this episode. Let's just move on.
What did he do now? I can't even keep up with all of the things that people are doing anymore. I can't even keep up with it.
I got ridiculed, and it's probably warranted, but
for your
not
flavor
really.
Saver.
I just can't listen to him talking. I'm not saying what he's saying is good or bad, or that I agree with it or don't agree with it, but like I just can't listen to him. Like it is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like I just can't do it.
That's one of those things that so like I went to school for mass communications, and in mass communications, you learn about the debate between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, and how people on the radio thought one had won, and people watching on TV thought the other had done a better job. So the idea being that, like, people's perception of you, how you sound, how you look, really does have a big influence. I don't think this is shocking news to anyone. But, like, hearing that person talk is incredible that he got to the position that he's at, because you would think, like, whoa, no. Like, no. Just because of that. It would be like Gilbert Gottfried would never be, like, Gilbert Gottfried, I don't know if he's still alive, but Gilbert Gottfried would never become president of the United States talking like that. Like, you could never do that. Or president of anything.
No, Gilbert Gottfried died in April of 2022.
Wow, a long time ago.
So,
okay,
well, not really.
Sorry
were only
Time Lord. Sorry there, Time Lord.
You were 40. You had been 40 then. But hey, it's your birthday. 43 today. All right, I'm done.
Like I said, I'm actually 9 months older than I really am.
Okay. All right, top 5.
Okay, so our top 5 is the top 5 hardest minor decisions that you have to make in life. Like, these are not big life decisions. These are just difficult minor decisions.
So mine, I kind of have a theme, and they're usually family related, because that's what I'm in.
Okay.
So my number 5 is picking out outfits but not for myself, for my children. Like trying to get them to agree to clothes, even though I asked them, then you pick out clothes and they say, no, we want you to do it. That sets the tone right off the bat for how my morning's going to go with my children.
Oh, gosh. I don't have to do that at all.
Well, because I have
I have
girls,
2
Nick has
boys.
boys,
Oh, God.
you know. Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah, boys, it's like you're going to wear, like, they don't care at all.
And no, well, my youngest is worse than my oldest, and it can put me into a sour mood before I've literally even opened my email to start looking at work stuff. So
wow, you are such a pansy. Look at you. You're such a pansy now. You have your whole life dictated by 2 small little things.
Look at that.
God, your flavor saver is awful. You can't like.
It's the only thing I can grow, that and whatever this is.
Well, that doesn't matter. If the only thing you can do is that, then you shouldn't be doing that. Like, right?
Well,
just because it's all you can do doesn't mean you should be doing it.
I saved it for you for your birthday.
Well, there you go. Okay, all right.
Anyways,
my number 5 is where to park. Whenever I'm going into a parking lot, I hate making a decision about where I'm going to park. Like, I just hate deciding where I'm going to park. Should I park there? Should I park here? If I park there? And I live in a fairly crowded city, so, like, it's kind of a decision every time, and I hate deciding where to park.
Obviously, we've talked about my parking anxiety, so I mean, that's a good one. I don't have it on my list.
You don't? I wondered if it was going to be your number 1.
No,
or
because
is that a major life decision for you?
Like, I went to the grocery store this morning, and it was pretty busy, but I parked literally the last spot, and just walked because I don't care. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to. Yeah.
This is the way.
I just don't.
This is the way.
Don't want to deal with it.
No, I agree. Number 4.
All right, my number 4 hardest minor life decision once again is, and this is gonna sound kind of gross, but it's deciding whether to shower at night or in the morning.
Oh, always shower at night. I don't understand people who don't shower at the end of the day. Like, you're just taking all that filth with you into your bed, and then if you shower in the morning, then it's just still in the bed the next day. I do not understand not showering at night.
Well,
to me, that's disgusting.
For me, it's like if I shower at night, I'll wake up the next morning, obviously, and I'll start to feel a little dirty. Or I'll say, yes, I'm going to take a shower in the morning, and then I wake up, of course, and I have to rush around, and I don't end up showering until that night because I'm just rushing around. So
I don't understand.
It's frustrating. It can be frustrating.
I think it's because I don't have a sense of smell that I'm always worried about potentially stinking, but I shower constantly. 2 or 3 times a day.
Jeez, 2 or 3, you shower 2 to 3 times a day?
Maybe occasionally I'll shower once a day, but always twice almost. I don't understand. It's not hard. Like, how long does it take you to take a shower? Legitimately, how long does it take you to take a shower?
5 to 10 minutes.
I can take a shower in 30 seconds.
No, you can't.
I bet I could take a shower. Okay, maybe not soap, shampoo, wash your face, shave, do the whole thing. In terms of, like, the bare minimum, using soap, the whole body, even trying to get the back, washing your hair, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I guarantee you I could do it in 2 minutes, no problem.
I feel like this is a challenge for an upcoming episode. See who can shower the fastest.
See who can shower the fastest?
I mean, you're going to beat me, but, I mean, I've taken fast showers. I just like to enjoy my time in the shower.
That's what it's about. But that's what I don't understand. Like, you're going to bed with all the day's filth, and then you're never going to be really clean again until you wash those sheets.
Yeah, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. Like, why wouldn't you brush your teeth at night instead of only in the morning?
Right, you brush them at night in the morning, which is what the normal situation is. Although I don't know anybody who ever brushed their teeth 3 times in a day. Like, do you brush your teeth during the day or just in the morning at night?
I know, obviously I work in TV, so some of the talent will brush their teeth during the day, but I don't. Yeah, I brush twice. Once in the morning, once at night. Makes you feel all right.
Okay. Do you floss?
Probably once or twice a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
you gotta floss more than that.
I have
fucker.
sensitive gums, so.
Oh my God. Maybe you have sensitive gums because you don't floss. I'm not talking about this with you. The point is you're fucking up your life. Okay?
What's your number 3 or 4 or whatever?
My number 4 is buying shoes. Buying new shoes is always a big decision because you gotta okay, do I like the way that those look? But if they're not the ones that I usually get, are they gonna fit my foot the way that I want? Buying shoes is a big minor life decision.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Oh, sorry, they're perfect feet.
Yeah, my number 3 minor life decision. Like where do I stop? When do I stop to get gas? Do I let it go all the way down? To empty? Do I get to a quarter of a tank? Things like that.
Ooh. I used to let it go all the way down to see how much I was getting out of a tank. But now that I live in Seattle and I'm paranoid about the big earthquake that's going to hit, I don't let it go below half.
Is that a thing? Are they suspecting a major earthquake to hit?
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest natural disaster of all time.
Oh, well, that's depressing. Well, regardless, living in Michigan where it's winter 6 months out of the year, yeah, I don't want to be pumping gas when it's -10 outside. So it all goes you have to think about it, which is just annoying to me.
Yeah, I don't let it go past half a tank. But I'm also a man. I'm not worried about standing outside in the cold. My little fingers a little cold. Your fingers going to be a little cold.
What's your number 3? What's your number 3?
Your little toesy woesy's going to be a little chilly.
Stop listening to you. Stop listening.
My number 3 is any kind of maintenance decision. Like where are you going to get your oil changed? What plumber are you going to get? What kind of handyman? Those kind of things that you're just it's going to be a pain in the ass. I got to make sure I get the right one, and I really don't know who's right.
So that's kind of similar to my number 2, which is having to deal with appointments or calling, bills or getting rid of cable. Just phone calls and daily nuances that should be simple that are going to end up costing you 2 to 3 hours.
My number 2 is what to eat.
Okay.
What am I going to eat that day? What am I going to eat for this? What am I going to eat? And it obviously escalates to the highest level of frustration when you're deciding what restaurant to go out to.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll just throw it out there. That's my number 1. Far and away is what to eat, where to eat, how many meals a day. If we're trying to diet and eat well, it's just, oh my God, it's frustrating. And God forbid, it's dinner time and no one wants to make a decision. That can ruin weeks. That can ruin weeks right there.
You're gonna hear about it, right? If you don't eat the food that you want to eat, that's why most of my family, my wife and I, eat totally separate dinners.
Is that why you had Taco Bell the other night?
Oh, I love Taco Bell.
I didn't believe you till you sent me that photo, and then I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I had 4 bean and cheese burritos and 2 tacos. It was a good day. It was a bad next day, but it was a good day that day. My number 1 may be a personal thing, but it's easily the most difficult minor life decision that I have to make. And that's when to leave for the airport. I never know when to leave for the airport. Both in terms of if you're flying out or if you're going to pick somebody else up. I just never know when and you never time it right. I don't think that I have ever correctly timed the decision about when to leave for the airport.
So on my honorable mention, I have when to get ready for a ride share. When do you go outside or, whatever, which is similar. I am admittedly one of those people, though, that I will get to an airport 3 hours early if I have to. God. I will get there. Now, it might be different with children. I've never flown with my children. I would imagine we'd probably be running late. But
wait, you get there early by yourself?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Okay, you have a 1 o'clock flight. The flight is leaving at 1 o'clock and is going to board 45 minutes in advance. It used to be 30, but now it's 45. So they're going to board at 12:15. What time are you making sure you arrive at the airport? You're by yourself.
I mean,
be honest. Don't try to cheat it.
11, at least by 11, if not 10:30.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, 10:30 is ridiculous. 10:30, you're getting a little bit paranoid there. 11, I can give you.
Well, I mean, at least if you get there early and you get through security, which once again, I haven't been in an airport and flown in 8 years, so I don't know. But I feel like they've streamlined it. But say you get hung up, right? I don't want to have the worries of like waiting in a line. I did that one time in Orlando, and I don't know if I've ever been on edge more. Like, am I gonna make it? But then you find out they'll just reschedule you anyways. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, I've never missed a flight. Have you ever missed one?
Oh, no, I've always been early. But my wife has missed several, and apparently it's not that big of a deal. So
No, it's probably not that big of a deal. But if you have like other things, yeah, I would probably get there if the boarding was 12:15 if I'm by myself. I might push it to 11:15. But my thing is like, it's not like you're doing something besides then. Like, you're just sitting around wherever you are being anxious about how you should have left for the airport already. Like, to me, it doesn't make a difference if you're waiting at your hotel or if you're waiting at the airport. Like, why not wait at the place with less stress?
well, that's the thing to me is I've always been one of those people, whether it's a flight or if there's a hard deadline for something, I'd rather just get it out of the way. Like, I don't want to be sitting somewhere thinking about it. Like, I can just be wherever I need to be and be prepared or ready for whatever.
Yeah, I have a relative that will wait till the last second, and I'm always like, what were you doing, though? Like, what were you doing? It's not like, hey, maybe I could get in this awesome mountain bike ride, or I wanted to go see this festival. No, you're just
Never.
like, I was just at my house. But why
Yeah,
be
never.
stressed at your house? Like, I don't understand. Okay, I don't have anything in
Yeah.
my honorable mention because it's my birthday, and I'm going to go do other stuff.